today I'm going to show you how to slide on the hard courts. Hi everyone, my name is Milan from Serbia. I'm founder of TENFITMEN and I'm a professional tennis player and coach. Welcome back to another TENFITMEN video, and today I'm going to show you a couple tips on how to slide on the hard courts. So I got asked about this question from many of you, and this is why I decided to talk about it today. And I'm going to try to give you a couple tips. It's a bit challenging topic, and the skill to actually learn to slide on a hard court, it will take some time, so don't expect to learn it after one time. And definitely there are some other things that you really have to first consider and do before you actually start sliding on a hard court. So I'm gonna start with the very basics, and the tip number one for today will be the physical aspect of being able to slide on the hard courts. You definitely have to build the strength of your legs, like you need to work out in the gym. There's many different exercises and specific ones. You need to work on the strength of your quads, the hamstring, definitely the groins are important. Make sure that the groins are strong and you have some stability. One of the exercises that's very, very good for this kind of stunt or performance on the court where you're sliding on the hard court is, you try to do your split, not all the way. You get into some, a little bit challenging position that you're not feeling like it's too easy. So now I have to use my groins to maintain my feet kind of here closer together. So I'm kind of putting some effort now, and I'm trying to hold it. So this is a good exercise that you can get stronger there and also work a bit on your flexibility here. Notice my ankles and my feet are kind of parallel. So you don't want to go wide, you want to stay parallel. Even try to get the toes a bit to go inside, and you will see this is a little bit challenging. So this is one of the things you can do, and along the lines of this exercise you want to make sure you work on your flexibility. You do a lot of stretching, so that includes the lunges and this one, the split that I already said, and then also the side split here, all this. And you really need to take it seriously. You need to build a base before you can actually do this. When you watch on TV, these guys, especially, let's say Novak Djokovic, I'm going to talk about him a lot today. It looks so easy, so natural, but don't forget that this guy is 100% in this sport, and this is everything he does for the whole life. And he has the whole team around him, and it's super fit, one of the fittest players in the world, and super flexible, super strong, super light. So all these things combined together makes it possible. So don't forget this tip number one: build the strength of your legs and do a lot of stretching. And maybe in some future videos I can focus more on those exercises, but now I just want to cover a bit more other things that you need to consider when you're doing the sliding on the hard courts. The number two tip for today will be, after you get all this base, you get comfortable with your legs and the stretching and your flexibility, before you even want to do any sliding on the hard courts, before you even attempt to do that, make sure you put ankle braces on both feet. I don't have it right now, but this you have to do it if you've never done it and you're not feeling comfortable with that. Make sure you put them on, so you eliminate any possibility of getting some injuries. Hopefully nothing happened bad. Please be very careful. First it's staying healthy and not getting any injuries. Then you can proceed, and before you actually start to do anything on the hard courts, make sure that you first get comfortable with the sliding on the clay. You can find some clay courts, red clay, gray or green clay. So I hope you can find them in your town, in your city. This is also how I learned to slide first. I grew up on the clay courts, and this is the tennis that you're grinding, and it just becomes kind of natural. It's like a second nature to me to slide on the clay courts. But now on the hard courts it's also a bit challenging for me, and this is why I really found this topic interesting. So let's get into the tip number three. So tip number three will actually be starting with a certain exercise on the court, but you can also find different surfaces that are obviously hard courts, but are a little bit not slippery, but kind of surfaces that you can make some kind of sliding motion. And that's gonna be like this. So let's say if I start to slide on my right foot, which will be for the forehand if I'm right-handed. So from this position, I'm gonna simply put the leg a bit further away and start pushing with the leg through my heel, into the ground. And in that way, I will start pushing the leg away from me. So then I will come back again. From the regular stance, I put it a bit away, push with my power through the leg, so put some force through the heel. So my full power is going here, and notice my toes are maintaining a bit this parallel position to the other foot, and even a bit going to inside, because that's going to be important later. So this is the motion that I want to get comfortable with. Again, this has to happen after you build the strength in the legs and worked on your flexibility and did a lot of stretching. Talking about not just 1 week, I'm talking about at least a couple of months. So make sure you prepare. This is a long process, as I mentioned. So same thing goes with the other foot. Here, if I want to go for the slider on the back end, which is super tough and even not many pros are doing, so I'm not sure how many of you will be able to apply this side. I'm sure the forehand will work, but anyways, I'm going to show. It's the same thing, right? My left leg, and I step away a bit, push through the heel, and push away. And you can see this is also a bit not natural for me, but it will come by time. Again, here, push through the heel, maintain, and then here. For some reason, this shaking happens, but actually, when it's in a real-time speed, it should be fine. So once again, here, through the heel, the toes maintain here, and I get comfortable with this motion. Okay, so now into the tip number 4, and this is going to be a big one, very important. This is where you actually simulate the slide. Again, make sure that you get super comfortable with that from the tip number 3, where you're getting that foot closer to you and just controlled motion. Get very, very comfortable with that. After a couple of weeks maybe of training that, you can try to do the next thing, which is actually moving to that direction and doing the slide, of course without ball. So you first want to have all the control of your body. You don't have to hit the ball, and you don't even have to swing first. So you can do it without swing. You can have the racket, but make sure that you're only focused on the position of your leg, the body. Make sure you stay in upright position. This center line, the center of gravity line, I like to call it, the line that connects the nose and the belly button. Make sure that line always stays straight. This is the key for the balance when you're on the run. So as you do this one, you want to think about your body stays straight. So I'm going to demonstrate this slide here. Hopefully all fine. Basically, it's going to look like this. So this is just a very easy light version. So once again, and let's check that out in slow motion. So as you can see in that slow motion, you really have to pay attention to that foot position and how my toes are actually going towards inside. And you will see this with Novak Djokovic on both sides, on the forehand and on the backhand side when he's sliding. How his toes, like here, are going towards the inside, right? It's not going this way, especially on the backhand side. So it's here, and after he hits this backhand here, the toes are going inside. And this is also the thing I'm trying to work on and to improve, so I'm still not super comfortable with that. Maybe I should even wear the brace at this moment, but I will just try to show you like a very light version of sliding on the left foot. And as I mentioned, I'm going to focus on having this. So, and this is just, sliding for like, what is that, 6 or 12 inches, not too much, but it's just, notice again how my toes are going towards the inside. This is the only way that you can slide here, right? So my toes are going, when I mean inside, you know, it's like this is straight and it's going towards the inside. It's not going outside. And again, you will notice this with Nole, and he's like the master of this, especially on this backhand side when he's getting that open stance, you know, sliding, and then usually it's like a passing shot. Just amazing. Let's check this out in slow motion. So once you've gone through all this, couple of tips I gave you and these exercises, you get comfortable with that. The next one, the number 5, will be doing this sliding simulation with the racket and with the shadow swing, you know, while trying to maintain that balance and staying in a perfect position before, during and after that swing. I'm still like, you know, also working on that, but I'm trying to give you some idea maybe how you can also work on it. And definitely you have to watch Novak Djokovic and many of the other pros, you know, who are doing that, sliding on the hard courts. But again, it's gonna look something like this. So again, you're gonna have your racket, you're gonna be ready to go there and make the swing as you do the sliding. And this can happen actually in 2 ways. The one is the slide after you hit the shot, you know, and then you do the slide. And the other one is when you're sliding as you're hitting the ball. So I'm gonna show you both of them. The number 1, this is when, you know, the ball is actually not super far, so you can still have that reach. So you can first, definitely it's gonna be open stance. So you're gonna first hit the ball here, and then you're gonna do this sliding. So I'm gonna try to a little bit get into it, and you know, hopefully you can get the idea. So it's gonna be something like this. Once again, I'm gonna try to do it behind the baseline here. That's what I feel like more natural, right? So let's say you hit the backhand here, and then the forehand is gonna be like this. This is the case that actually I feel now it's, you know, gonna be a bit rare. I think more often you will slide at the moment when you hit the ball. So that's gonna happen when the ball is far away and when you don't have time. So it has to happen very fast. So that's gonna be like this. Very tough to simulate, so I have to kind of imagine the ball is coming there, and also with the movement. So something like this. So notice how is my body, the position. As I do it here, my weight, as I said, this trying to be straight, but also because you want to be ready to recover back, almost you want to put your weight a bit towards the back foot. So then after this one, you're ready to go back. So once again. All right, not so easy. Let's check that out in slow motion. So, as you can see in these videos, in the slow motions, you really have to have a good balance in order to be able to come back. So the similar thing will be on the backhand side. As I mentioned, you want to have this line here straight, and in 2 different cases, you're gonna do this open slide. The one is, as I said before, is going to be after you hit a shot. You want to come back, and the other one is when you have less time and the ball is a bit tougher at the same time, which Nola does very often, you know, when he's on the defense. Again, a little bit difficult, but it's going to look something like this. So one more time, if I play the ball here, and let's check that out in slow motion. So these will be those 5 tips or some of them are like steps that will help you, I hope, you know, to kind of get into this mastering the sliding on the hard courts. Definitely I have to add number 6. Here in China we have this sign is for, you know, number 6. Definitely you have to practice this now with the balls, and I recommend you have somebody to feed you the balls, so you can always have, you know, the same ball coming to you, and this is the best way to practice, and you have to repeat many times. Again, all this you should first do on the clay courts with the ankle braces, so in that way you will be 100% prepared, and then you can come here to the hard courts and do that exercise where you're gonna get the balls, you know, from the basket, and that's gonna look something like this. Let's do one where actually I'm gonna try to come back as fast as I can, which is the most challenging here, you know, because you have to recover. Not too bad. Roll it. Again, I'm gonna try to come back as fast as I can, you know, to recover to the middle of the court after this super tough shot. So as you could see, first I had Christian hand feed me the balls, you know, with a bit more controlled positioning, and now we're gonna do it from, you know, feeding from the basket. It's a bit more challenging, so this is the ultimate step, of course, for the training, and then the final thing is that you actually do it in the match. But of course, first is the practice. Let's go. I'm gonna try to come back again, you know, recover as fast as I can. It's super tough. Woo! I hope I don't go to hospital tomorrow. So that was actually a lot of fun, but I started to feel a bit uncomfortable, you know, with my legs, some parts, and the, like, hips, groins, you know, it's all a bit rusty. So this is why, again, like, I really highly recommend that you get fit first, get comfortable with those first moves, and do it first on the clay court, and then you can start doing these things here. And this is like insane, but I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. I hope that you also enjoyed it and that you found it useful, and hopefully you can use it to learn these things and, you know, improve your movement on the court, on a hard court. Just one more time to make a quick recap for today's tips. So the tip number 1 is to get your legs stronger, spend some time in the gym and work on those groins, quads, hamstring, and definitely do a lot of stretching. You got to get flexible. Just look at Novak Djokovic, like a rubber. Tip number 2 will be, make sure you get all those like safety measures. We mentioned ankle braces. You have to put them on both ankles, and before you do anything on the hard courts, make sure you do it on the clay courts, which is much easier to slide. There's less resistance between your shoes and the surface, so it's easier to get used to it and get comfortable with that. The tip number 3 for today was the first part of the sliding on the hard courts, where I mentioned to standing in this position and then just pushing one leg on that side, this one also. It's through the heels, remember? The heels are first on the ground and the toes are going a bit more inside. So you have to get super comfortable with that before you move to the next step. The tip number 4 for today was doing the actual motion, without any shadow swings. You can have the racket in your hand. It's just, doing that sliding motion in a kind of more real speed. So it's going to be, you kind of make one step before, so you get some speed and you get that velocity here. Again, notice the toes here and the balance, upper body. Again, once you get comfortable with that, you can move on. The tip number 5 is working on those shadow swings, with the racket, simulating those shots. So as we mentioned, here. Again, once you get that, sorted out, you can have a friend or coach to feed the balls. I recommend this to be a tennis person because it's not so easy to feed the balls. As you could see, Christian was a bit struggling. Yeah. Then you do the actual shots from the feeding. First, somebody can hand feed you the balls, and then from the basket, and then you're set. You gotta just repeat and do it correctly. Be patient, and then hopefully once you get comfortable with sliding on a hard court during the practice, in a controlled environment, then you can actually do it in the match, which is our final goal. So, thank you guys again so much for watching and for giving me this suggestion. This is a great topic. I really enjoyed it to make this video for you guys. It was also challenging for me. I also learned something from it, and I definitely hope you will learn something. And I would like to hear from you. What are your thoughts? Are these exercises or tips a bit too challenging for you? Please let me know anything you think about it below in the comments. If you have any other suggestions or advice, how was your experience with improving this kind of shots? And definitely, if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, share it with all of your tennis friends, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please also make sure you follow us on our new Instagram profile, on our new TikTok account, and all the other social media platforms. Everything down below in the description. And that's about it for today. Bag all the time there.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Let's try one where I'm actually gonna try to. Let's do one where I'm actually close to the base, like here.
Can you do a shadow slide over?
Okay. Not too bad.
You said you're gonna go fast.
I'm trying. Oh, so tough. Wait. Oh, shit. But how is my body? Good balance. Do I need slow-mo? Wow, my legs are falling apart. Let's hope I don't get injured now. It's not smart. Woo! How come on the back and I'm more solid? Woohoo! Up! Come on. Sorry, I hit your rack. Come on. Ah, impossible. score after this? Can you find a good? Can you find a good ball? It's definitely to get your legs. When you do this, then it distracts him, Christian. When you start doing that. Hi guys, just want to jump in real quickly here at the end. Thank you so much for watching our videos and for all of your engagement. It really means so much to us. And just want to say, if you really enjoy consuming our content and if you support everything we do and you maybe want to kind of contribute to our TENFITMEN team, you're very welcome to visit our Patreon page, and I will put the link somewhere here, and I will also put it down below in the description. Over there you will see that we have many cool projects and ideas in our minds, and we are really looking forward to it. And then with having you as our wings, we will be able to get there much faster and actually make all this journey closer to you and share all these amazing moments with you. So please go there and check out our page. Once again, thank you so much for watching us and for following, and I'll see you very soon in our next video.